To welcome you all to our weekly press briefing on behalf of the Minister, Deputy Minister, Management and Staff of the Ministry of Information and Communications. Today's briefing will be chaired by the National Publicity and Outreach Coordinator in the Office of the Government Spokesman, Mr. Abdullahi Berete. He is also going to update you on government activities and programs. Sitting close to him is Mr. Kwame Yankson, who is Deputy Secretary in this ministry. We are expecting the Minister of Transport and Aviation to join us during the course of the proceedings. He is expected to give you an account of his recent visit to the US, where he met with officials from Delta Airlines. But we are not going to waste any further time. We'll go straight to business. And I'll now hand you over to the chairman, Mr. Abdullahi Berete.
Gentlemen, I welcome you to this weekly press briefing on behalf of the minister and staff of the ministry. Now, I'm going to start by extending our thanks to you, members of the Fourth Estate, because you were very much cooperative and also supportive in terms of disseminating information following the culvert that collapsed at Kinjimi a few days ago. The reason being, we lost 6 lives there. 3 were identified by their family members. The other 3, government was able to provide them with a befitting funeral. And so far, we are able to mobilize all the response team from the emergency services, and government was able to provide a machine that was able to scavenge the collapsed mud to see if we can still have Sierra Leoneans under the debris. But I want to update you that the Office of the Vice President, who is in charge of the National Disaster Management Team, convened a meeting. All the stakeholders, including the NPA, etc. And so far, we are very much satisfied with the progress made in terms of emergency response. The Freetown City Council was able to provide with Regent Square, where we house some of those who were affected, and the total number of people affected stand at 615 people, but the population basically that we are housing at the Regent Square School is 120. That is about the total number of houses affected under that bridge was 32. Now, what we are doing is we recognize that that is just a temporary location for them. So we are now negotiating with the Ministry of Transport to see if Hastings Airfield will be provided so that the hangars that were there will be able to utilize them on a temporary basis, whilst at the same time providing therapeutic counseling to all those affected, because we don't buy into the argument that in the first place they were not supposed to have squatted under there. The reason being that was not ideal for them. But that notwithstanding, we still perceive them to be Sierra Leoneans, and as a responsible government, we therefore took it upon ourselves to provide the necessary support needed. Also, you may also recall that His Excellency the President convened a meeting at State House where he invited the leadership of the Sierra Leone People's Party. That meeting was very important in the sense, whilst there is an internal wrangling within the Sierra Leone People's Party, we as a government would never interfere in resolving their internal impasse. Rather, if there is any potential that their own convention they are holding has the potential to spill over, particularly when Mr. Julius Maada Bio had indicated that he has authentic information that some of his colleagues in the party had imported mercenaries from Liberia. I think as a government, the president in his own wisdom requested them to make sure that they please conduct their convention without any rancor that may have the potential of undermining the security of the state. It is on that same token we must commend the Sierra Leone police for being very proactive when some insider members of the Sierra Leone People's Party gave a tip-off that Maada Bio or some of his security personnel had arms and ammunition stored in his possession. Well, the police with integrity went there and they were very honest to inform the public that no arms or ammunition were found. And this is where we must congratulate also Mr. Julius Maada Bio, because he was very cooperative with the police, and also the police had exonerated him that indeed he is not found wanting. So it is a win-win situation. But for us, we all know the Sierra Leone People's Party has always been saying they brought in this country, which of course to their credit, we must give that to President Ahmad Tijan Kabi. This government therefore has the responsibility to continue to strengthen the democracy, our peace and security. So having said that, I will not repeat. The President did attend the International Youth Day, wherein he reiterated his commitment to particularly the youth of this country. And we all know when he indicated on December 14, 2012, that he was going to dedicate the second term to the youth, he had translated that promise into reality. The reality being, now we have secured about $30 million from the Chinese towards the construction of a youth village. And also, we know the recent visit he made to China was also to generate direct foreign investment in this country, whereby the youth stand to benefit immensely. So that was why he was also part and parcel in celebrating the International Youth Day at the Miata Conference. Having said that, it is now my pleasure to welcome somebody that is the Honorable Minister of Transport and Aviation. All of you know him. You usually call him Logos. With Delta Airlines in the United States, as well as having high-level meeting with the World Bank, we are honored to have Mr. Leonard Balogun Kuroma, the minister, who will come and tell us what is in the kitty for our beloved country. Honorable Minister, sir.
We'll start with the first issue, that is implementing the ban on right-hand drive vehicles. The ban on right-hand drive vehicles is a law. It's an existing law. Section 73 of the Road Traffic Regulation 2011 clearly states that no right-hand drive vehicle shall be registered or allowed to operate on our roads in this country. It's a law. So all the people who are presently driving right-hand drive vehicles are violating the law. Plain and simple. Secondly, it is also violating ECOWAS protocols to which Sierra Leone is signatory. And that protocol to which we are signatory, as I said, has been implemented by Nigeria, by Ghana, and by other ECOWAS states. So why should Sierra Leone be left behind? We have a forward-looking and result-oriented president who has waged a war on indiscipline, who has waged a war on lawlessness. So how can we sit down and see people violating the laws of the land? The law is supreme, and it protects the majority of Sierra Leoneans. Of all the interviews that I've listened in the past few days, the majority of Sierra Leoneans are in favor of the ban. Because, one, it is illegal. Number two, it's a safety issue. It contributes to road accidents on the highway. It contributes to injury to Sierra Leoneans, because those of the right-hand drive vehicles that are operating as passenger transport, instead of putting down passengers on the curb side of the road, which is the right thing to do, they are putting up passengers in the middle of the road. And those passengers are exposed to all kinds of hazards. These are Sierra Leoneans, and they have equal protection under the law. Recently, a terrible accident took place in which 17 people were killed on the spot. It was a right-hand drive. So how can we sit down? People are asking me, oh, your predecessors were here, they lie low, they kept this issue low. My predecessors are my predecessors. Locus Coroma is locus. I implement and defend my convictions. And in the process of acting in the interest of the majority, the few may not like what you're doing. The few may be dissatisfied with what you're doing. If President Koroma was not a man who acted on his convictions, we would not have had Wilkinson Road today. We would not have had Spur Road today. Because there were people who were telling him, oh, we don't have the money, and it is not possible. Technically, based on our engineering studies, it is not possible. Wilkinson Road cannot be converted into a 4-lane road. So politicians must be able to stand by their convictions and do and stand by whatever they believe in. So I believe, and the director of the Sierra Leone Roads Authority also believes, we are working together on this, that the law imposing the ban on right-hand drive vehicles must be implemented. It should have been implemented a long time ago. We are late in implementing it. We are very late. But anyway, better late than never. So this law, we have put measures in place, because I've had a lot of people say, oh, it's not possible. It's not going to happen. The minister is wasting his time. They don't know locus law. Because when I stand by something, I must achieve. That is why I plan before I speak. Together with the director of the SLITA, we have established a Road Transport Authority Service Center at the ports. So immediately your right-hand drive vehicle gets off the ship after September 1st, in conformity with Section 73 of the Road Regulation Act of 2011, it will not be registered. That's what the law says. I hear people say they are going to court. Let them go to court, they will lose. Because this is the law. It will not be registered. And it cannot ply our routes. We're simply going by what the law says.